Alright, so yesterday Bungie released the TWAB that covers the Destiny version of Transmog, aka Synthesis. For those of you who are unaware, Transmog or Synthesis is basically the idea is that you can take the appearance of armor that you like and turn it into universal ornaments. Bungie outlines the process for doing this. Earn Synth Strand by defeating enemies, use the Synth Strand to purchase bounties. These bounties reward Synth Cord, which you turn into Synth Weave at the loom in the tower. And finally you can use the Synth Weave to synthesize armor from your collections. A few notes that Bungie mentions. Each bounty will cost 150 Synth Strand. The bounties are class specific. Abandoning bounties will give a partial refund of Synth Strand. The bounties span across basically every aspect of the game. You can expect to see them related to strikes, crucible, gambit, destinations or planet orientation, and raids and dungeons. Each season, players may earn up to 10 Synth Weave per class per season. This means a player is only able to synthesize 2 full armor sets. Eververse is also getting a few changes. First, the Bright Dust cost for shaders is being increased from 40 to 30, and second, you can directly purchase Synthweave for silver. Alright, so there are the facts, now moving on to my opinions. First up, let's talk about the good things. We finally have Transmog. It only took Bungie almost 7 years to do it, but we have it. And that's basically the only good thing from this. Literally everything else that Bungie mentions is terrible design and turns one of the coolest possible features into one of the worst features. Only 2 armor sets per class per player? Really? That means 8 full armor sets per year. Each major expansion we can assume to come with a new raid and a vaulted raid later that year. So 2 of the 8 armor sets right there. Each major expansion will come with a new destination with its own armor set. Now we have 3 of 8 sets complete. Each season has a new armor set that is different from the ornaments that are released alongside them, which puts us at 7 of 8. So you're left with 1 armor set per year to add to your collection. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that the Vanguard, Crucible, Gambit, Iron Banner, Trials, Old Destinations, Vaulted Armor that only lives in your collection still have armor sets to be transmogged. Plain and simple, the only cap that there should be is how much you are willing to put forward in time. A hard cap is the worst possible design that could have been made. But don't worry, you can pay $10 to skip this cap because that's all the Eververse option is going to be designed for, is to bypass the cap. Then raising the Bright Dust cost of shaders? Really? People have been complaining about this for years. Things in the store cost ridiculously weird prices of Bright Dust. Bungie just increased how much Bright Dust people got with the challenges, and now they're increasing the cost of things. Bungie keeps taking 2 steps forward and 4 steps backwards. This is really disappointing to hear. Like, I was really excited about Transmog. This is something that I was looking forward to since the day they mentioned. I always wanted it to be this sort of background passive grind that you could do when you had nothing else to do. Similar to how factions worked in Destiny 1, but they're not doing that. They're going to hard limit us per character. And, that's really disappointing, because what's going to turn out is most people are just going to engage with this one time and never look back. Most people are going to get one style they like, and then they're just going to be done with it. Or they're going to maybe once a year do it. I mean, the truth is, this could have created a large sect in the community that was very excited about collecting all the armor into transmog stuff, but now those people aren't going to exist. I mean, the system clearly is designed for whales. It's only designed for people to go to the Eververse. That paired with the shader Bright Dust thing? Really, Bungie? Like, you can't even buy shaders, to my knowledge, with silver. What was the point of that? It's literally just to remove our Bright Dust, thus encouraging us to spend silver. I mean, I've never spent silver in this game. I'm never going to, because Bungie keeps making these anti-consumer designs. It's very disheartening that they just continuously do this. While we're here, why don't you go ahead and smash that like button? At the end of the day, you have to look at the pros and the cons. The pro, yes, I only listed one, is a good pro. There is transmog in the game. And as I said in the negatives, is that most people are only going to interact with this one time. So generally speaking, for the broader community, like, most people are going to do one armor set and then be done. The only negative here really is that Bungie has immediately just kind of cut out anyone that would have been playing the game as a collector. Because now all those people are just told, like, it's literally impossible. You cannot do it unless you fork over shit tons of cash. I feel bad for all the people that designed this system to see it come out this way. The coders, the engineers, the artists, the writers. I mean, I don't know how they would have any self-respect after this. Like, who is going to be the person that designed this and said, "Oh yeah, I made that really shitty system that nobody likes." Oh, yeah, that was me. Nobody likes that. Like who's proud of this? Like who wants this? Like wow, we can get 8 armor sets a year. Like are you kidding me? The point of digital media is that there aren't limitations like this. In the real world, you have physical limitations by materials and stuff like that. In the digital world, there's no limitation like this. It's clearly artificial. Like everything digital is artificial. Like we can clearly see that someone sat there and decided that, oh, this isn't going to monetize as well, so we need to limit the players' options. We need to force them into paying money. And it's these scummy anti-consumer actions that really tick me off with Bungie. Remember when Destiny 2 came out, XP throttling was a thing. It took players time and effort to calculate how much XP people were getting compared to what it was displaying on screen. And those are not the only two anti-consumer and shady things that Bungie does. Charging $10 for an armor set? $15 in some cases, I believe. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you could pay for a season, which is supposed to be game content, like playing, something to do, or I could pay $10 for cosmetics for a character on this server somewhere that I don't even own the actual code of the game. I only own the ability to access the game. It's these decisions that really tick me off with Bungie, because honestly, they're one of the most anti-consumer companies out there as far as video games go. If you really look at it all, it's like a lot of people like to blame Activision in the day, and they were a good scapegoat, but you know, ever since Bungie left Activision, things have not really gotten better, I can't say. Like, the story and all that of the actual game, sure, it's just now gotten good. Over a year it took them for them to understand what the seasonal model was going to be. That's the thing I'm kind of saying. It seems like they don't even have a plan for the future. It's like they're just winging it. And they have to keep spending time reintroducing Destiny 1 features into Destiny 2 because of how bad they fucked up with Destiny 2 launch. If you look at the Crucible system that's implemented now with the leveling process, this is literally just a vendor update, but only for shacks. They're literally just adding factions back in slowly. Over the course of the year, up until Lightfall, I predict we're going to get factions back by Lightfall, because they're already going to have the systems in place for leveling them up and progressing through them. They're just going to slowly whittle them out so that we keep getting something quote-unquote new each season. Like they're doing it with the Gunsmith and Ada. Next season it'll probably be Vanguard or Gambit or something like that. I think Gambit already has it, my bad. But I think eventually we're going to get the point where we're just getting back Destiny 1 content. They're going to be a season of Dead Orbit, season of Future War Cult, season of New Monarchy. Then the Speaker's going to come back, and then they're just going to keep doing these Destiny 1 things that they took out of Destiny 2, and they're going to keep reintroducing old systems instead of coming up with something new. And when they do come up with something new, like Transmog, they just make the worst possible decision with it as they could. Anyone you picked that played this game could have designed a better system than this. And that's all it comes down to, is design of the system. This system, there's no actual reason that there needs to be a limit on armor. It's just saving it in the database somewhere. It's saving it as a 0 or 1, whether or not a player has that collected as a transmog set or not. It has nothing more to do than that. And Bungie is very strictly artificially limiting this, and this is not very pro-consumer. This is anti-consumer, just like throttling XP back in the day to encourage people to buy bright engrams.